It's recording.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to, I'm really excited about this call because for several reasons. First of all, Lauren is really great at presenting information in a really concise, to the point way and kind of breaking it down. That is definitely one of many of her gifts and talents that she has. So this tool that she's going to talk about tonight, three-way calls, three-way chats, she's going to focus on the calls. They are super, super important when it comes to business building. And I want you guys really to get comfortable doing these. I know before I did them, they seemed very weird and like something I would never do. And now it's actually one of my most favorite things to do. And so I hope that with, kind of her laying out what can take place, what ideas of what to take place in the call, that you guys will feel more comfortable doing them, using your uplines to do them. And then you yourself, being that third party validation and actually being the host for a call. So we'll get started, and I'm going to hand it over to Lauren. And like I said, we'll have questions. If you have something in the midst of it, feel free to unmute your microphone and ask her if you need like clarification or whatever. But okay, Lauren, go for it.
All right, let me share the screen real fast so that you can see what I can see. 1 second. All right. All right, can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm excited to be on the call tonight and just talk a little bit about using three-way calls. It's something, I guess, being vulnerable that and being transparent, that I don't like talking on the phone unless I really know someone. It's not one of my favorite things, and doing three-way calls is something that's really out of my comfort zone, especially last fall when I started to do them. But the ones that I've done and the ones that my teammates have done have been really successful. And the more I read about them, the more I do them. Like, I just think they're a really great skill to strengthen and sharpen to help grow your business. If your business, I feel like, isn't where you want it to be, then this is something you need to start implementing to help basically propel your business. So tonight I just kind of want to go over why should we do three-way calls, and kind of like how a three-way call would go. And a three-way call is going to basically go with any kind of prospect that you have. And I'm focusing tonight just on the business side, like a prospect that we think would want to do the business side. You can also do them if someone's interested in being a customer. And it'd be the same kind of layout, but I'm really focusing on business. So just a few reasons why I like three-way calls. In the book Go Pro by Eric Worre, he has the quote, "Professionals understand that personal interaction is a critical component when it comes to building trust and transferring belief. So they try to connect with people as much as possible." And I really think the personal interaction is what makes three-way calls so effective, is because people get to hear your voice, they get to hear your passion, they get to hear your enthusiasm. And if it was just over a Facebook message or text or email, they don't get to have that personal interaction. I really believe that connection that you make with them is like the building block for whatever else you're going to have with them. It's also going to start building trust. And one thing I like that's a little further down is just like, if this person ends up joining your team, you've already started building trust with that person right off the bat. And also another reason I like the personal interaction that he says is transferring belief. If you're on this call tonight and we know you have belief in the product and we know you have belief in the business, and I hope it's unshakable belief. And your job is, when you're doing these three-way calls, is to transfer that unshakable belief into your level one who's on the call, as well as that prospect. And so I just think like that quote sums up all the reasons why three-way calls are great. But I think personal interaction is the number one thing. They provide third-party validation, and I really like them because if you're brand new, and I have a couple of brand new girls, I've already started telling them, let's get on some three-way calls, because you can go ahead and tell your prospects, like, I'm brand new to this, but my, friend Lauren has been doing this, for a year now, and she's been really successful. I just really want you to hear from her so you get the correct information. And when they get on the call with that upline, then all the things that sponsor has already told them is going to be validated, and they're going to, again, have more belief and more trust in everything that you're telling them. Another is just they're simple and duplicatable. I really think with our training system that we have down now, adding this in as like the first step before the training system is huge. If you want something that's going to duplicate your business, three-way calls, I really believe is it. It's a guideline, a formula. If you do it and you practice it, you can be really successful with them. Like I said a little bit ago, it gets the prospect connected right away when they join as an ambassador. And what I never really thought of was if you do a three-way call with a prospect and they join, then not only they've had the three-way call with their upline, they get the upline's welcome video, and then they get a three-way coaching call with that upline, and that's probably going to be within a few weeks. And how amazing is it they get basically three training sessions with that upline right away. They're going to feel connected, they're going to feel part of the team, and they're going to feel supported. Another reason I like three-way calls is if you're not as confident or you haven't done enough, if you get your upline sponsor to do some for you, then that upline sponsor is going to model for you what to say and how to talk to prospects, and that's huge. The more that you do that with your upline, the more comfortable you'll get with them. It allows the upline sponsor to be more bold with the prospect. If you don't know that prospect, then you normally are a little bit more bold in the things that you say and the way you come across. And then the last one is just that they're successful. Tamara Holloway, who's a diamond in the company, this is what she did to go diamond, and she talks highly about three-way calls. Ashley, when I was getting started, did some with some of my level ones. Every single one that we did joined. The ones I've done, I think all but one have joined, so they're really successful. The majority of the ones that we do, they end up joining. So that's just some of the reasons that I think three-way calls are a great skill to know and to sharpen. So
I was going to add, sorry, Lauren, really quick on that third-party validation, and you touched on this, but I always tell people, it's hard for us to, when we have a friend that, let's say we have like this awesome person that we really want to join us, and our relationship with them is friendship, and they don't yet see us as someone who knows how to rock a network marketing business or someone who knows what they're talking about. I mean, we've told them about the product and the opportunity, but they haven't yet seen us in that new light. So bringing in that complete stranger, sometimes, their word holds almost a little bit more weight in the beginning because they don't have a connection to that person. So it's easier for them to see them as, wow, that person really knows what they're talking about when it comes to network marketing. Not that you don't, but you kind of have to jump that bridge there in the beginning to get your friend or prospect to see you in a different type of relationship than what you currently have. So that's another reason, like Lauren said, you're saying the exact same thing that the upline is saying basically the same thing you have said, but it's like hearing it again from a total stranger. They're like, I'm in. And, so anyway, I just wanted to add that in.
Definitely. So just really quickly, because I didn't know if anybody would have questions on how to get a potential on a call. I've never had an issue with it, but I think the main thing you want to do is just to make it seem laid back. This isn't like a business call. It's just a conversation that's, one of your friends is going to share a business opportunity with you. And these were just some of the tips that Tamara shared, but just, I want to get you on the line with my good friend, Ashley. I'd stay away from saying upline or business partner. It's just a friend. Make the upline a relatable, likable person. Try to find a way to connect the upline and potential together. She's a stay-at-home mom just like you are, or she's a teacher, or she used to teach just like you are, or you're teaching. So try to find a way to connect them, because I think if you get them on the call and that potential already knows there's some connection with that upline, again, that's already starting to build that trust and that, oh, I can totally relate to that person. And just, you're going to love her and she's going to love you. And just that upline's just going to, or that your friend is just going to share, her story that's unfolded and just the amazing business. And also if the time thing comes up, just say, we won't keep you more than 15 or 20 minutes. And it needs to be short. And that's why, we don't want to ramble when we do these. We want to know what we're going to say it, because we want to honor, like if they're going to give up 15, 20 minutes, then we want to honor that 15 or 20 minutes and not go way over. So just, knowing how your call is going to go is really important. So I've never had an issue with it, but if you are trying to find ways to get a potential on a call. Those are just some ways. Make them relatable. Try to find some connection and just keep it casual. Just when you talk to my good friend who loves Plexus. Is there anything you want to add, Ashley?
No, I think that's good. I think the more casual, and I agree, like avoiding those words like upline or whatever, just the more casual and, this person's been doing it a little bit longer. She's had awesome success. I think you would really connect to her because a lot of your goals sound similar. Anything that you can do to just kind of get some common ground even before the phone call happens. But I think most people are interested in doing that, and especially when it's presented in a real low-key kind of way where they're not going to feel like there's a lot of pressure, to just like join right there on the spot or anything. So, no, I think that's great. I think you covered that.
All right. So tonight, I just want to go over kind of how to do a three-way call. And when Ashley was teaching me, we really went over 7 steps to a three-way call. And before I kind of go through, if you're taking notes, I have a document that's a guideline. So I'll post it on our team page. So don't feel like if I skip a slide, you need to like take notes really fast. I'll post it tonight after the call. But anyway, so we're gonna go over the 7 steps to a three-way call. And again, I always do them just on my phone where you can merge all 3 people on one call, but you can also do a Zoom call if you wanna have face-to-face. That's totally another option for you. So just know you can do a Zoom call or you can just do a telephone call on your phone. So step 1 is that the sponsor introduces the potential ambassador. And I also said genuine compliment. So basically what you want to do, and it's in this order for a reason, you want that potential ambassador or prospect to be introduced first. And what you want to do is just let your upline know, like, how am I connected to this person? And then you want to give them a compliment. I always say if you know they want to work the business, give them, tell your upline why you think they would be really amazing at this business. If you're not sure if they want to do the business, and just give them a compliment, like, hey, Ashley, this is my friend Amanda. We've been teaching together for 6 years. I think she'd be really great at this business because of how she relates to people. She has a bubbly personality. She makes friends really easily, and she's really great at building relationships. Bam, that's all I have to say. It's genuine. I really mean that about her. And honestly, it should be really easy to come up with a compliment, because if you have this person on the call, you want them on your team. And so if you have trouble coming up with a compliment, then it's probably not someone you need on your team, because it probably isn't going to work out. So make sure that it's a genuine compliment. And then after that, then the sponsor is going to introduce their upline. And the reason for this is that you're going to kind of build up that upline. You want, basically, when the upline comes on, you want them to have all ears on the upline, to be like hanging on to every word that they say, to be eating out of the palm of their hand. Like, you want them to think they're the greatest. So talk about their successes in the business. Ashley is my upline, so she does all my three-way calls with potential. So it's always, this is my friend Ashley, and she's been really successful in this business. She's a Ruby ambassador, 2 promotions away from going Emerald, which is a jewel in the company, which is when you get the Lexus and the free all expenses paid trip to Hawaii. She earned Leaders Retreat this past fall, which only 1% of the company went. Amazingly, she has been able to start working part-time hours so she can stay at home with her girls thanks to Plexus, and she is on track to be able to stay at home full-time this fall. And she's just an amazing leader. She cares about her team. She's all about training and support, and I just can't wait for you to hear from her. And then if you're the sponsor, you kind of stop talking and you hand over the reins to your upline to kind of keep going on the call. So that's the first step, an introduction. You're going to introduce the potential ambassador, you're going to introduce the upline sponsor, and then the upline sponsor is going to take over from there. So step 2 is the upline ambassador is going to share their story, and they're just going to share their help testimony, and it needs to be a brief 2-minute share. And I tell my runners and my level 1s, like, when you do this, you want to think about where I was, what I saw, what I did, and where I am now. And if you have not practiced this and written it out, like, that's your homework for the weekend. Like, by the end of the week, you need to have this down, because this is not something I want you to read off of note cards. This needs to come from your heart. You need to speak it, and you need to know it, because people are going to ask, and you need to be able to give them a brief 2-minute share. Like mine is, I was a tired, exhausted, and burned out first grade teacher. I survived on happy hour Cokes from Sonic and daily afternoon naps. I would literally come home from work, crawl into bed, and fall asleep until it was dark outside. I just thought that was the way we had to cope. I had to cope with that. And I was really miserable. I saw a friend posting about the increase in energy she was experiencing through the Plexus products. I was really skeptical, didn't believe that could be true. However, I knew I needed what she had. I desired how she was feeling. So I ended up reaching out to her, and I joined as a customer and began the products. And after just a few weeks, I was already noticing some results. I was less bloated. I was sleeping better. I had so much more energy. I was able to come home from work and do laundry and cook dinner and clean the house and not feel the need for a nap. And I no longer was craving Cokes. I really craved water. Coke didn't appeal to me anymore. I'm going on 2 years on the products now this fall, and just those things have stayed true. Also, my immune system is so much stronger. And I was someone who from high school through my first years of teaching had to go to the dermatologist twice a year for acne. And I'm completely off of all my medication now, and I don't have to go to the doctor anymore. And it's just been a huge blessing in my life. So you just need to have your brief 2-minute testimony that you can share that you know. And if you don't know it, like I want you to practice it and have it written out. Like when I did it, I typed it on the computer, I wrote it in my notebook, I practiced it, I went in front of the mirror, I practiced it, I recorded myself on the phone, I sent it to Ashley, practice it some more, and now it's stuck. So I just encourage you to not just read off a notebook paper if you're doing it, to really like have it in your heart, because knowing your health testimony is huge. So that's your second thing you're gonna do, is just your health testimony, a 2-minute share, where I was, what I saw, what I did, and where I am now. So after that.
And that's good. That like you said, Lauren, that needs to be, aside from three-way calls, that needs to roll off of your tongue and out of your heart, just easy. And it's okay if you feel weird and dorky practicing it. That's okay. Do it in your car. I mean, mine has kind of, it changes, and it will as you go along. Where you are now will continue to change in what you want to say. And just be ready, because people out and about will be asking you, well, what has it done for you? And that just gives you got it. You don't have to, freeze up. So anyway.
Yeah. And just having those like starters is just the best way that I found to do it. Just touch on those 4 things. So after you share your story, an option is to share another story. And I like to do it just because I like to share, and I like to share a story from one of my teammates or sidelines that really speaks to me, inspires me. Or if you have an idea of that potential and their health issues, you might be able to find a story that speaks to them. I love sharing, I've got a couple, but I love sharing my friend Michelle's story. Her story gives me chills to this day. It's a story that's different from my story, different issues, health issues. Not going into tons of detail, but she had autoimmune disease, hypothyroidism, type 1.5 diabetes. She was on 11 different medications, and now she's off of all but one medication within 3 months of starting the products. And so her story just, I think, speaks volumes for the products. If I knew someone had allergy issues, and I'd share my teammate Amanda's story, who Amanda's been getting allergy shots since she was 2 years old. She's in her early 30s now, and she's finally off of her allergy shots she used to get weekly. That's huge. 30 years of allergy shots gone. Or Sophia, my teammate Sophia, who's had IBS issues, and just how she never could have dairy, or I feel like you have to know your teammates, you have to know their why, and you need to get to know them so that you can speak from the heart when it comes to this. Because just like you share your testimony, you have to speak boldly and passionately about your teammate's story and what inspires you. So if you don't have, you could find someone else that's not connected to you, but I feel like if you find a story that connects to you, people just hear your passion and how much more passionate you are. But try to find a story that's a little bit different from yours, so that you're not telling the same story back to back.
And that one can be super fast, like a couple, 3 sentences.
Right. All right. So after you share another story, then you're going to share about the products. And for the most part, we know the people that are on the call, for the most part, are going to have already tried the products. if they're going to become an ambassador. But again, just letting people know that our products are unique and that there's nothing else like it on the market, and then keep it simple. They address total body health, balancing blood sugar, reducing inflammation, gut health, weight management, just the basics that all of our products kind of handle. And, you know, you're going to answer questions when this is all said and done. And so if someone has a question about products, then that'll come at the very end of your call. So don't feel like you're just leaving out all products. If they have questions, then you'll talk to them about products after you've kind of gone through your three-way call. And then just letting them know, because our products work, we have an amazing business opportunity. And that just kind of leads you into talking about the business side of things. Mm-hmm. So keeping it basic, you know, the 4 biggies: balancing blood sugar, healing the gut, reducing inflammation, weight management, are the things you want to tell them.
And I always mention too on that part, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about the products. If you have questions at the end specifically, I'm happy to answer them. But in a nutshell, our products, you know, they're all natural, they're gluten-free. And I'm not skimming over the products, because without our products, we wouldn't have the opportunity we have. I'm just not going to waste a lot of your time going into detail about it. That's kind of how I say it, so that, you know they can circle back around if they want to. And it is true. The reason the products we have are what set up the opportunity. So anyway.
So the 5th thing you're going to do is you're going to share your financial testimony. So this is like the second part of your story. You kind of shared half your story. Now you're going to share the other half. And I tell my runners and my level ones, kind of think about it like, after I saw the results, ... I began to share. So think about what made you decide to start working the business. You know, for me, it was after I saw the results and how much I love these products. I became kind of curious about who was successful in this company. So I started to do some research and was, totally, surprised to see that there were so many former teachers who were successful with Plexus, and they were able to quit their full-time teaching job and stay at home and work from home and be with their kids. And, my greatest desire is to one day be a stay-at-home mom. However, my husband and I both have to work because, staying at home is expensive. And, when I read those testimonies and saw those stories, like, I just knew in my heart that was God's answer to my prayer. And on March 8th of 2015, I kind of drew my line in the sand and decided, like, I'm going to work my business. And I began to share the products with people. And the other part of the sharing your financial testimony is just like telling people what it would require you to do. Like, it would require me to ... You can tell people like how much you make, but I really think it's more effective if you use the "it would require me to," because I just think people get it a little bit more. For me, it would require me to add an additional 40 hours working in our school's aftercare in order to make what I did last month with Plexus. That's like adding another week to my already busy month. So putting it that way, I know Ashley's is a ridiculous amount of sessions she would have to do in order to make what she made with Plexus. So think about your trade and what you do and connect, what you would have to make or what you would have to do in order for what you would make with Plexus is, I think, a lot more effective than just saying I make X amount with Plexus each month. So the 6th thing you're going to do is you're going to share the comp plan. And kind of like the products, you're going to, share not all the details. You're going to kind of give them the overview. Basically that, there's 11 different ways we get paid, and all it takes to start up your business is $34.95, and letting people know you've made that back 100 times over. And then one thing that Ashley taught me that has been really great is just to have them think about the weekend. What you easily drop $50 on. Like, my husband and I just went out for dinner and a movie on Monday, and we also got a bag of popcorn. Like, we dropped over $50 easily on dinner and a movie without even thinking about it. Or if I go out shopping, a new pair of shoes, it's easy for me to drop $50 on. And just letting them know, like, for a little more than half of that you can invest into your future, and like, the possibilities are endless with what that $34.95 can become. Like, that $50 I spent on the movie and dinner, it was nice for the moment, but it's gone. But that $34.95, it can, you make it back 100 times over. And I think that's important for people to know. Like, some people, and I think that handles the objection too, like, it's just too much money. Well, you easily spend $50 on, dinner and a movie. Like, what's $34.95? So I think that's a great way to kind of have them think about just starting their business with that just low cost of $34.95. So the last step is sharing the vision. And, I tell people, like, our team leads with passion and integrity, letting people know we're a family that supports and encourages one another every step of the way, that we set goals and we're all reaching for our goals together, and that we're committed to this company long term, that we've seen the vision and we aren't going anywhere. Like, we know this is a ground floor opportunity and we're running with it, and we're gonna, work it till we reach the top. And we want you to join us and do it with us. So I think that's just a great way to kind of end, and that's the last step. Just kind of giving them the vision of our team and what our team is all about.
And letting them know, like you said, I think a lot of people that have tried different networking companies in the past maybe didn't get the training or plugged in, that they were just kind of left to their own devices, and just kind of floundered, and then maybe just weren't successful. And so just saying, we are heavy in the training because we want to give you the tools you need to reach whatever goal you have with this. And like Lauren said, I mean, we lock arms together in this. Whatever you say your goal is, we are here to support you and tell you things that we have found to be successful that will work. And I think the more, like Lauren has said, the bolder that you speak, the more confident, because those things are true about our team. We know that those things are true about each one of you. You guys know what works in this business, and you are capable of teaching it to other people. And so they let them hear that we have a system and a plan in place, and we take anybody who wants it, it's open to you, and we will share with open arms the things that we have learned, and we'll guide you and, take you to the top with us, if that's what you desire. So I think that, because I know just from my experience, people that have joined me who have tried other things and just said the training, like the connection wasn't there, the training wasn't there. And so I think that that's huge to make sure people know, well, what happens next? Like, how do I do this or that? Like, we've got it all for you. You just have to say yes and step into this, with us.
And so that's your 7 steps. And then after that, you're just going to open it up for any questions that they might have. And I just put a couple bullets. I've never had objections when I've asked, you might have objections. I never have come across, but just be aware somebody might have an objection. The only things I've come across is just people really want to know the cost. Like, you pay the $34.95. What else do I have to pay for? Because some companies you have to pay a monthly fee, or if you don't pay, you have to pay for your products every month. And just kind of what's expected of an ambassador is what I feel like is what most people want to know. I would also say if someone, opens up about products or wants to know more about products, you do need to, have like a 15-second spiel about, the products. And that's where, I would say bring out your product cards and just have them handy, because they give you bullet points of like what to talk about when it comes to products, so that you're not stumped if someone asks you questions. But I would, if you haven't practiced your 15-minute or 2-sentence spiel on each product, this would be a great tool to help. And just my thing is, I have just the guidelines just when I do a call, not that I read off of this, but it's just my guide so that I can stay on track and not, again, I can honor that 20 minutes that that person is on the call with me. And then when it's over, you're just going to thank them for their time, and just let them know if they have any questions. They can, of course, their sponsor or the person that got them on the call can help answer, or that, I'm still available to answer. Or if you want to get on a 3-way Facebook chat later, if something else comes up, then that's always an option too. But just thank them for their time, and that's how we do 3-way calls. So.
And sometimes I was going to say too, with the objections, sometimes I will lead into that by saying, have any objections come up in your mind that would hold you back from joining us today, or that are holding you back from saying yes to this? I might kind of, you're asking, but you're almost, framing it for them in a positive, like, I'm expecting that you're going to say yes to this, because why on earth would you not? So, is there anything that at this point, what objections can I answer for you, that have come up that are keeping you from saying yes? And One, not necessarily objection I've gotten, but a question a lot is they do want to know like the monthly, what's required monthly of them as far as cost goes, or so a lot of times I do end up explaining the backup order and PV, 100 PV. So just make sure that you have that you're kind of comfortable in explaining what that, what our backup order is, when it ships, when it doesn't, but that it's low risk because you can, deactivate that. You can turn it off and turn it back on at no cost. Just kind of make sure you understand that in your head in a way that you can explain that. Because sometimes that's come up quite frequently on the calls I've done. I think the most important thing is the whole package of this is, coming from a place, and it's okay to, practice this so that you feel very confident and bold, because coming from a place of almost abundance instead of desperation, where it's like, I'm doing this, Lauren's doing this, we are confident in what we're doing. We want you to join us, but we're going forward no matter if you do or if you don't. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you almost want to set up that feeling of, oh my goodness, like this is amazing. Whatever they're doing, I need in on this. I want in on this. I don't want to get left behind. And so that's why I think it's really great to end on that last note about just kind of giving them a taste of what our team is all about, and how we, our training and all of that, because it leaves them kind of wanting more, is the idea. So Lauren, you did awesome. Very, very, very good job.
Thank you. I hope that everyone will start trying to implement them. I really think, you can do them with your ambassadors who have been on, with you for months or years. But I really think when you sign up that new ambassador, like have them when they make their Franks list, we have them always circle those top 10 dream team members. And normally those dream team members are people that they're close to. Go ahead and see if they can get them on a three-way call and see, go ahead and get them to silver. I really think if you can do these three-way calls, I think there's a lot of potential for, a lot of growth on teams and getting people connected right away.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's not, I know some of you guys might be sitting there like freaking out thinking, I cannot do this, because I was there. I felt the same way. I remember reading that section in GoPro and I like literally just flipped through, because I was like, that's something I'll never do. I'll never do that. I couldn't visualize myself doing that. And like I said, so much of what we're doing in Plexus is growing and stepping out of our comfort zone and into new comfort zones that we didn't know we would flourish in. And so it's that first one, you're going to be nervous, it's going to feel weird and scary, but I promise you it will become something that you look forward to, that's really fun, that you'll start pushing your downline. Get me on a three-way call. Like get me on a call, with somebody, because we can, bring it. Let's like share our excitement with other people. And the more that you do them, you're going to feel more confident. And you guys are so capable. There are people out there doing these calls that know less than you do. I promise you. And I'm not saying that because it's like a competition. I just mean, I promise you guys, every single one of you that are on this call are capable of doing this. And if a call wasn't done for you, it is okay to schedule kind of a mock. I'm available to do that if you want to do like a mock run through of a three-way call because you've never heard it or experienced it. I'm happy to do that so that you can at least hear. That's the way I learn. I have to hear someone do it, and then I'm like, okay, I got this. I can do that. So whatever you need to do to kind of get your comfort level up, and then just, beyond that, you just have to kind of just go for it, really, and just give it a shot. But I promise you, like Lauren said, this is a tool that will propel your business if you keep doing these consistently. This is one of those business building type activities that they work. Like she said, Tamara Holloway has built her business around three-way calls. She says that over and over and over again. I would not mind being a Tamara Holloway. So it's worth doing, it's worth trying. And they may not all end in a new ambassador, but a lot of them will. So to me right there, that's kind of a no-brainer. So do any of you guys have any questions? You can click your little unmute button and ask away if you do. See, you were so thorough, Lauren. I knew you would be. I knew you cover everything. No one would have questions. Pam, no questions? I'm teasing. I love to do that to Pam.
Yeah, usually I do, but no, Lauren did. She did an awesome job. So, and I love how you put stuff together, Lauren. It's just so So great. I love your notes and everything. It's very helpful.
Thank you.
So Lauren, you'll add that PowerPoint and that document, right?
Yes, I will. And I know it's not part of the call, but people have also done some three-way like Facebook chats, and they've been really successful.
Yes.
However, there's still there's some people that do them really informally and have had success, but there's also a document out there we think that kind of explains kind of like the three-way call where there's a guideline and how you kind of set it up. So that might be something we can train on later, but that's also another option. If someone just really doesn't want to get on the phone, or they're too busy, then that's another option, is a three-way chat. So, maybe we can post some more information about that on our team page once we get some more information. But those have been successful too for teams.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like you said, sometimes that is just with everyone's schedule. Sometimes it's easier, for that particular person to say yes to a chat rather than a phone call. It's just easier to kind of feel like they can give the time to that. Even if it's a set time or if it's one that kind of lingers on for a day or two or whatever, that's okay. Okay, well, if there's no questions, we don't need to keep everybody any longer. But Lauren, thank you so much for stepping up and doing this. You did amazing, as I knew that you would. You always have such great information to share. And like Pam said, that's one of your gifts. You just put it so concisely, and it makes it like checkpoints. So that's awesome. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, well, we recorded this, so we'll get this up on our YouTube channel so you guys can access it later and send it to your teams and stuff. So you guys